Okay. All right. So then
we've got 3 options on the table. I dare say everyone's read that. I want to read them all out. So the 2 options that we have is to adopt and approve for consultation draft revenue financing policy, draft financial contribution policy, and draft significant engagement policy and associated statements of the policy. That's one option. The second one is do not adopt and approve for consultation and draft revenue financing policy, draft financial contributions policy, and draft significant engagement policy and associated statements of proposal. Now, any discussion around this, we're going to take those 3 items as one.
3 items?
Yeah.
You're talking 2, A, B, and C?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'd like...
You want to have a discussion?
So I guess my struggle with this is that if we have as an example, page 44, and it is the same in the hard copy. If we go to the last 2 bullet points on page 44, so these bullet points, to me, we're proposing to adopt a revenue and finance policy for consultation, but we're assuming in those last 2 bullet points that they're a give me, and I don't agree with that. We're assuming in those last 2 bullet points that emergency services and regional supporting facilities are not going to be supported. Now, that to me does not make sense. We're going for a consultation policy that assumes that we're dropping those 2, and that's not right. We're not necessarily dropping them. The majority of this council may want to drop them, and that is one example. Obviously, you know that I'm passionate about that example, but I'm not happy with the fact that we are saying we're going to drop them when we haven't actually consulted them. It's dumb. It doesn't make sense. I can't see the point.
Okay, Jono?
Kia ora, Chair. Kia ora, Rick. So the revenue and financing policy, as we go out and consult on it, is built on the proposal that council is going to consult on. So we have to have a revenue and financing policy that matches what council's proposal is that we're out there consulting on. So you're 100% correct in that we are consulting on the Civil Defence and Emergency Services funding, or the future of that funding, and also on the sports facility funding. If through that consultation process, some deliberations are made, council decides to maintain those funding pools, then your revenue and financing policy would be updated to match that decision as well. So we need to go out there at the moment to the public with here's our proposal, and our revenue and financing policy needs to match that proposal. But like I said, they can all get amended come May if council decides on a different perspective to what's being proposed at the moment. Does that answer the question?
It answers the question, but my issue is that it's preempting people saying that we are not having those 2 facilities, and that also applies to a number of other wish we could have. I forget what they're called. The extra additions. We're assuming that people won't go for those when you do this, and that's not right for me. Okay. So you're preempting it. So that's why I cannot vote for that.
Yep. So it's like when we go out with our proposal, we have to go out and show how our budget's going to work. We have to go out with a balanced budget.
No, I understand all that.
So it has, well, if it wasn't in here and we weren't proposing what those 2 bullet points there about the removal of those two aspects, then our revenue and finance policy wouldn't match what the consultation document is out there seeking feedback on. So we have to go out and show what the impact of that decision is through our revenue and financing. So, yeah.
Okay, Marty had his hand up next.
Well, I was just wondering if the wording could be changed to deferral of the analysis and activity pending review of or results of the long-term plan.
So what you guys are doing though is going out with a proposal. So it is your guys' proposal to the community. That doesn't mean that you can't change your mind in May, but it's your proposal. You've gone through a process and this is what you're going out to the community. So it's not deferring anything. This is your proposal. So I think it needs to remain like it is my advice, because otherwise your revenue and financing policy isn't supporting what your proposal is that you're consulting on.
Okay, Joe and then John.
Yeah, look, I acknowledge Rick's personal views, and that there's significant stuff in here that personally I didn't support. But we did have a consensus, you know, and this is what we're putting out to the public, and information might come in that make this amended. So, you know, I can clearly say that there's stuff in here that I seriously didn't want to see in there, and stuff I really wanted in there. But, you know, it's
John?
so I'm supporting where we got.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not over concerned, Rick, because I'm getting in the neck about rescue helicopter. It's still a fancy sports facility, but people are aware of this going in, and they're going to put up quite a campaign to retain this funding for each of those individual groups. So they've got the choice. I know how you read it. It does look like it's a fait accompli,
It does.
but it's not.
So would you just go through the process and assuming that we are going to say, okay, we're going to retain them, we would then revisit this?
Correct.
Yep.
Your revenue and finance. So,
Yep, no.
so come deliberations, if you guys decided that you don't want, and that you want to maintain both of those funding, then the revenue and financing policy will be changed to reflect that. At the moment, it's reflecting what the proposal is that's in your consultation document. That's just, that's how the process works.
Jeff,
But it's definitely not a fait accompli.
Thank you.
Okay, Jack?
Just a minor point, thank you. We need to really be aware of what's actually in the consultation document rather than what's in the report. And if you look at page 32 of the actual consultation document, it's got a fair
So what page is that? You haven't got the whole thing.
page on this on that.
No, I haven't got that.
Sorry, it's section 3 anyway. And the paper copy is probably easier to read, page 32. And I think it gives a fair bit sort of end of approach to the issue. Could we stop funding contributions, and it tells you about the alternatives and also gives 3 other options. So I think it's a pretty fair document for people to understand and make an informed decision on how to respond.
Okay, Amy?
Yeah, so just following the logic of the conversation, I'm happy to move recommendations 2, 3 and 4 together.
Yes.
Someone can second that.
We have a second. John? All in favour, say aye.
I wanted to have a bit more on it first. Yeah, I did.
Okay, all
So
against?
I fully understand what you're saying, Jack. I fully understand what CEO is saying. I fully understand that, but realising that in theory, they've got this document to look at. Assuming we approve this today, they got this document to look at. If they want to be bothered, they can then go back to this and have a read of the detail if they want to be bothered. And some people will. And I have definitely at ratepayers meetings said read every point, because you want to make very sure you know exactly what you are voting for and have your say. And make sure that you commit to what you want and make sure you attend those hearings, because it is our first hearings in what, 9 years. So make sure you do that. And the reason I bring it up now is because it is a public meeting, it is live streamed, it is recorded, and I want the fact recorded that it may legislatively make sense. On paper, it makes no sense at all. And so I make sure people read what they're doing and understand it and ask the questions.
Okay, Rick, point taken.
Yep.
Okay, we're
So I'm
moving
voting
on. We've
against
had
it.
more than enough time.
Thank you.
Amy's put a motion forward. John has seconded it. All in favour, say aye.
Right.
All against? Okay. Move on.
Oh, so item 5.7, page,
Just checking, Rick, would you like that recorded?
Yes, please.
Page 37.
page 50, sorry. Item 5.4.
I'm happy to move 5.4.
Just making sure we're catching up. Is everyone on page 50?
Yeah.
Yep.
Adoption of draft user fees charges 24-25. Approval to consult. So we've got a Rick
Yep, all together.
And then Jeff.
and then Jack and take
Yeah,
it all
all
together.
together, thank you.
Okay, so we've got 2 options. Adopt the draft user fees and charges 24-25 associated statements proposal for consultation as option 1. Option 2 is do not adopt the draft user fees and charges 24-25 and associated statements. It's pretty clear. Adoption 1. Any discussion?
Yep.
Yes.
I've just got a question for clarification, Louisa, that on page 80, I think I've got it right, 85, the jet ski, it's 5.4, page 85, the jet ski registration, it says the actual cost. Now, my understanding is we don't charge. We don't do registrations. Auckland does it. Do we now do jet ski registrations, do you know? That seems weird to me to have that in. I mean, the reason I specifically, and I'm not picking on jet skis, I love to pick on jet skis, but, you know, I think it's important we are aware of what's happening there.
So my understanding is that Auckland's simply changed that. Auckland's done it on our behalf. So nothing's actually changed that.
So we don't have any sort of more control over them, just the registration's done in Auckland? Okay.
Okay, we're just going to
That's
get
my only question.
clarification around that, Rick.
Yep.
Bruce?
I was just going to draw your attention to the footnote on page 85, which does clarify or confirm that
Oh, did I miss that?
Auckland
Sorry.
Council undertakes this function on behalf of NRC.
Footnote 59, the last one. In the small print, Rick.
In the small print, didn't read the small print. Thank you.
Which in this case says that there's zero cost to us, so that's our actual cost. So we don't have to pass it on. But if it does change, then we'd recuperate that actual cost.
Okay, any other?
So worth leaving in there.
John?
While I support target rates, it does worry me about all the increases we're seeing on here. So I'll support it, but we must remember that our communities have to pay for this. And it does concern me that our economy is on a bit of a knife edge at the moment, and this is not going to help. But I'm not suggesting we don't go ahead with it, but just point out the fact that we can carry on with the increase in costs on our community.
At 20% plus. Yep, footnoted. Any other discussion around this?
I'd just like to respond, actually, Mr. Chairman, to John. I do sympathise with your comment, but fees and charges are actual, and really we can't have actual recovery for activities that we perform on behalf of the people that request them. So, and if we didn't have them set at a level that they're paying for themselves, then the general ratepayer would be subsidising those activities. And I think our philosophy needs to be cost recovery, and to minimise the actual cost to the general ratepayer who doesn't undertake that activity. So yeah, I'm all for actual fees and charges.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think most of us do agree. You're just putting some concerns, John, that actually gone up quite significant. Okay. No other discussion points? So we are all in favour of option one?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Okay, pass. All right, we're down to page 106. Adoption of the long-term plan 24 to 2034, supporting information document, consultation document, and approval to consult. Okay, so we've got here. Should we just take it? We have somebody to. Up to move and second.
I'm only moving one. I'd like to take each item as one at a time.
Yep.
Move that we receive it.
Move that we receive it. Okay, and we'll take one at a time. So we've got 8. All those in favour? All those in favour?
No.
Aye.
All those against? Got 8 points here. 7 now that we've been approved. So let's start with the first, number 2, that the council approves consultation approach outlining in this report, including an official feedback period, 16th of March to the 19th of April, providing an opportunity for spoken feedback in a series of events and hearings, of submissions through council online portals, emails, posts, and hand delivery during the official feedback. Right.
Happy to move.
Happy to move. Second.
And I'd just like to, because it seems like a fairly short event, just on a month, I'd just like to ask Kyla to explain what we have planned. By means of trying to get people to submit.
In terms of promotion.
Yes.
So one of the first things that happens, apart from it going on our website, is that we do a mail out to all people who have been identified as
like directly impacted by the proposals, as well as our general mail out list. So that's letters that or emails that go out. But we also have a really thorough campaign that involves a video that's being produced, Google ads, Facebook campaign. We've got radio adverts. There's articles in the paper. There's public notice. There's all of our events that we are doing. So there is quite a comprehensive campaign that is run, because I do appreciate that calendar month doesn't seem like a long time once you get into it.
Thank you.
John, and then John.
Just add to that, Chair, we've also built up a list of those that have engaged through previous LTP processes, so they get notified. Also, for the or everybody for the sports facilities one and emergency services one, we specifically are writing to those that receive the funding to highlight to them what the proposal is, and to provide that information so that they're fully aware of it and able to engage appropriately as well.
John?
With the field days just finished, we have feedback on how we did with advertising. The big budget items have been newspaper and radio in the past, but it was Facebook that probably gave by far the best return. So.
Any other discussion around item 2?
Can I just, and the reason I refer to it is, now I'm on page 133 and I go to sporting facilities rate, which is the bottom sort of quarter of that page. If I'm looking at that, as a member of the public, pick up that and say, if I'm going to support sporting facilities, it's going to cost me another $16.30 per year. That doesn't seem so bad. Then you go to the next sentence and it says, oh, but that's actually 13.9% over the time. But, you know, that looks, ooh, that's a bit dodgy. So, well, not dodgy, that's a little bit different than $16. So I just think I want to make people, you know, aware that they need to read the detail. And to me, I can see 2.9% or $16, and if I prefer to talk in dollars, that's fine. When you look at the next one where it says 13.9, you go, where'd that come from? You know, I mean, it's quite difficult to understand where that, you know, that's the 10 years, I presume. Kyla, is it? That's the 10 years.
So the 13.9 that you're referring to?
Yep.
So that's what the overall rate increase would be with the 11.05 included.
I see.
So on top of, it says on top of our proposed option.
Yeah. $77.90. So I just think we've got to be, you know, to me, you look at that, and if you're not reading detail, think, well, it's going up $77. Hell, I'm not going to go to the sporting facilities. So just want to make people aware of it before they do it. And haven't really missed any small print there, I don't think, so I'm happy with that. Thank you.
Just in response, Chair, that's why we're putting it out there for consultation, is because that's the result of it. If we go ahead with the sporting and emergency, then it's going to bump it up by that much. It really needs to be addressed.
Needs to be pretty clear. Yeah. We had workshop these.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't workshop them in public, so that's why I want the public to be aware of what's happening.
Okay. See your point.
Thank you.
All right. So everyone had enough discussion around this point? All right. All those in.
Yeah, I can do it when the next item comes up.
Yep.
To that resolution.
Yep. Yeah, big Carla.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm not actually, that was my point of clarification. I haven't actually had a comment yet. So what I want to say is, it's not in the consultation document in detail. I know it's covered in the others, but the reason I can't vote for this is because we look at Whangarei District Council. They've just announced 17.5. They're going to consult on, that's their middle one. They've got a lower and a higher. We're going for 11. We will put out there 11.05, and then we're going to put out this, what I consider to be a weird percentage, 2.9.
Hold on, we're not talking about that, Rick. We're talking about
to,
this issue here about getting
it's covered in consultation. It's going to be covered in I want
You're
to,
going off track here.
so I want
I'd
to
just
let
like-
you know why I'm not voting for this
I'd
one.
like to close it down. We've heard your voice for enough time. So all in favour to support
Recommendation two, you talked
yeah, recommendation 2.
So I'm against.
I support tēnā koe, Mr Chairman. Kia ora.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to item 3. Council approves the draft financial strategy for the purpose of including relevant aspects of this information for the consultation document and the supporting information for the long-term plan. Can I have a move, seconder? Item 3. 3, Joe. Okay. Any discussion about this? No discussion. All in favour, say aye. Against?
Thanks.
One against. Okay, item 4, the council approves the draft infrastructure strategy for the purpose of including relevant aspects of this information and the proposed for the consultation document and the supporting information for the long-term plan 2024-2034. Do I have somebody to open that? And a seconder? No seconders?
Yeah.
Seconder, Amy. Discussion, please. All in favour? Aye. Against? Nobody's against.
I'm against. So we're talking
Now, okay.
Adopts the CD and support
Okay.
information.
Okay, I've got another resolution to bring in, so that will go under item 4. Okay, so we make it 4.1 or something? 4A. Okay, that the council agrees and confirms that the words climate crisis and associated phrasing in the long-term plan consultation document be changed to climate change.
I'll move.
We have a mover and a seconder.
I'll second.
Any discussion around the wording? All in-
Can we have some clarification around the purpose of the change? Is it a technical, is there a meaning, is there a definition of the two of what material change do
Okay.
the two terminologies impact on the document?
Okay, we did have a workshop on this, and it was agreed at the workshop that the wording would be changed. It's just been forgotten to change the wording.
Kia ora.
It's just technical mishap, so I don't think we need a discussion around it. All in favour, say aye.
No, I would like some discussion. We're talking on that against climate change. I'm happy. I'll vote for
Okay.
that one. Yep.
Okay, Rick. All right.
Catching you on the next one.
Okay, pass. So that,
I want you to
That-
leave
that is-
anything through.
Was that all in favour? Sorry, just.
yeah, that was all in favour. Sorry, Rick's,
I'm in favour of that one.
okay. We've got one over the line with you, Rick.
You got one, yeah?
Okay.
Ain't finished yet though.
Number 5, the council
Right.
adopts the supporting information document for the long-term plan 2024-2034, circulated under separate cover for the purpose of consultation. Can I have opening and a seconder, please?
Yeah, I'll move.
Okay, mover, Jack, not me, Joe. Seconder, Jack. Sorry, Jack. Discussion.
Well, I'd like to thank staff for putting together the excellent document with lots of relevant detail. Thank you very much.
No other discussion?
No, I've got some discussion. So if we go to page 126 and I look at the emergency, not emergency services this time, the Joint Emergency Coordination Centre, how should we fund the increased costs? So to me, I know we've workshopped it, and I repeat again, Jeff, that we workshopped it, but the public aren't aware of what we've discussed. And so I want to make people fully aware of the importance of this Joint Emergency Coordination Centre and the fact that our proposed option is to fund the shortfall. So I think that's important. I think it's important that we make that message clear, and the reason I say it now, as I've already explained, it's in public and I want it recorded that I am raising the awareness of this. It's well overdue, and we need to get stuck in behind it and do it.
So you're not voting against it?
I'm not voting against this one.
Okay, so you had your voice,
I
Rick?
have my voice. Thank you.
Okay, no other voices? All in favour? Say aye. Against? Okay, item 6. Council adopts and approves the release of the consultation document circulated under the separate cover for the long-term plan 2024 to 2034 via the special consultative procedure pursuant in sections 93, 93A and 83 Local Government Act 2002. Can I have a mover and a seconder?
Happy to second.
Okay. Discussion?
Would like to speak to it though.
Yes. you'd like to
Just
speak to
that
it?
clarity, that same old lemon or whatever of a percentage of an increase. That's an average of, so it's still murky there. Agree with Joe, there's got to be a transparency that people can actually understand, and also agree with John that what I said was that it's messy. And I don't know how we resolve that, or whether we just box on and let the public figure it out.
Can I just say, Marty, we have workshopped this. That
Yeah.
voice should have come up strongly at the workshop, so we
It
should
did.
have thrashed it out. To have it
It did.
now is not good.
It did come at the workshop, and similar to the climate crisis that wasn't put in, this wasn't addressed, it wasn't changed.
No, but at that one, we actually agreed to change the wording. At the workshop, we did not agree to change what you were. Okay, so I can't see why we're wasting time on discussing it here. Already discussed.
I wouldn't regard it as wasting time, so I'd like that taken back, but it's something that there is still a lack of clarity, and I'd like that stated for the report as well, too.
Okay. Okay, Amy?
Yeah, I think I just want to sort of speak in support of Marty's point, but slightly different perspective. Just thank you to the staff for supporting us to find clarity, because it is really challenging for us as a council to articulate what these rates increases mean. When we look at percentages, that's an easy way for people to get a picture in mind. But the challenge is that if we look at percent, our rates are much smaller. The whole package is much smaller than those of the district council. So people can be quite skewed in how they understand the document. So I really support the way that we are doing it, where we do use percentage where we can, but we also qualify it with a dollar amount that helps give people the right level of scale when they're looking at these things. And it's certainly not perfect, but I think we've landed in the right place. And it's a really good document, and I think it's an interesting read, and I really hope lots of people will take the time to read it and give us feedback. So thank you very much to the team.
Okay, I'd just like to back up, because I know that Bruce has referred a couple of times that when you're talking about percentages to your own property, there is a lot of support where your land is and what percentage that does to your own rates. So
It's all there.
it's all there. It's all there. And I think, we've got to be reflective on that. We are world winning at this. Right, so Kyla's team is outstanding and they do a great job. So we're nitpicking if we think we're picking the best in New Zealand. Okay, any other discussion?
I'm
Yes,
not sure where I you clamped me down before, but I will have my say about the 2.9, that we're consulting on this. It's a huge gap between 11.05 and 2.9. And I think, again, I want people to be aware of what it actually means. So that's why I'm saying it now. Please read the documentation. Please make sure you know signing up to if you go for 2.9. Because if you gave me an option of nothing, which is effectively 2.9, 2.9 is backward. I know, we all know that. It's backward step. Regardless of what Burl says, it's a backward step. Please be aware of what you are signing up to and make sure you have your voice heard on that one. We do not want to go back in time. We do not want to go back to 8 or 9 years ago when we had this sort of increase, which left future councils in trouble, which was the council I came onto when it came to a 29% wage increase to allow for the previous councils 0 or very close to. So I want to make that perfectly clear to the public. And now that we approve, well, I will vote against it, but you will approve it. I will have my say at the ratepayers meetings, and I'll tell them to make sure they read these documents and make sure they be heard.
Okay, Rick, we'll leave your discussion for
Thank
the
you.
ratepayers meetings, okay? It's all in black and white. People will make their own decisions on 2.9 or 11%. Okay, or more, all right? Okay, so
Thank you.
we're going to move on from that, boys. So,
Chair, I think Kyle would just like to add just a few comments on this item.
Yep.
If I may just reiterate and draw council's attention to the fact that there's been a document we had this morning that was also emailed out to you last
Yep.
night, and that contains some minor tweaks and changes as things continue to shake down and things are grouped. We found a few places where they weren't quite grouped right, so the numbers themselves, that is in the amounts that are going out, haven't changed. It's just the way that they're grouped. And I also want to just let you know that those numbers are also changed in the supporting information document, so they will match. They've already been changed, but I didn't recirculate that because it is over 200 pages.
okay, thanks, Carla. Okay, so all in favour?
Aye.
Aye. All against?
Yep.
Okay.
And recorded, please.
Okay, item 7.
Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to move 7 and 8 together.
Okay, do I have a mover?
I'll move 7 and 8.
Okay, second.
Second.
Okay, let's take them together. I don't have to read them both out. You want me to
No.
read them both out?
No.
Okay, can we have a discussion about them, please?
Only.
All right, no discussion. All in favour, say aye.
Aye.
Against?
Oh, yeah.
Passed. All right, so we just conclude the meeting. 10:54.
Mr. Chairman, I'd really like to thank staff for this document, not only the supporting financial document, this document itself, I think it's beautifully designed. The language is fantastic and lays out all the information. And it gives percentages and dollars, and so it's all understandable. I think it's the best we've done actually in the 4 years. Well, it's a second LTP, but it's a fantastic document, so well done.
Okay, I just got Oral and then John.
Kia ora. I just wanted to, through the chair, just acknowledge too, we've also had the iwi and hapu representatives from TTMAG be part of this process. So it is a bit of a milestone to get to here. They're all online, listening in, quietly supporting, and quietly will bring any feedback, I think, through the TTMAG meeting. So I just wanted to acknowledge them through you this year for that.
Awesome if they online could please make sure that the iwi are fully informed, make sure that they respond. Outstanding. Okay, John, do you have a?
Oh, it's really has a new word. So, when this came out, the big tin can, inflation was spelt differently. Was that just me?
Sorry, inflation was,
Yeah, I'm missing out of it.
oh, has it been fixed in the?
This one's right, but is
Yeah.
it just me or is it?
No, there's lots of like little tiny things like that is just continuous improvement that we fix.
It's big cap. I just thought, I've been having fun on my computer. I thought it might be just me.
I'm not,
Okay, thank you.
I do know that anything that we would pass, that should fix. It's good that it's fixed now.
The cap was there for the letter. Maybe we-
They could have been a monitor.
Okay, we'd just like,
No, this is.
okay, who would like to close the meeting with a karakia? Would already like,
We've still got this afternoon's.
yeah, but this is a meeting, different meeting. Or would you like to close it, please?
Kia ora, nā koutou katoa, te mea tuatahi mihi ana kia koutou katoa, nā rangatira hoki o te mana o ngā hapu me ngā whānau me ngā iwi, kia koutou te kaunakera hoki. Nō reira, kia mai tātou, kia tātou katoa, te atawhai o tō tātou ārekia ihu karaiti, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu, ake, āmeni.
Okay, let's have a 5-minute break. And so the time is 5 to 11. So should we make it 5 past 11 for everybody to get a coffee and come back for our governance stand up?
Just making sure, see, have we got, are all our GMs available moving the school?
I emailed to be on standby, so I'm just about what.
Well done, Colin.
If we can get out of the way now.
So it's just me having that stuff.
Thank you for this. That's great, Ollie. You just got pressure to get an award for this one as well this year.
It's you.
You're ending up.
Sorry.
Well done, Colin.
Thank you, Carla.